This is not working very well. I think it is time for a tactical retreat. Hey, stop eating my stuff. Hello everybody, and welcome to Factorio, the factory builder game that's so addictive it's banned in something like half the known universe. Now, full disclosure, this is not my first time playing this game, but as you'll see, I'm not very good. So, jump right into it. With a rail world that has time-based evolution turned off because I am not a fast player at all. I'm not really sure, but I don't think your spaceship is supposed to explode. It does not seem optimal. Do I have any rocks with coal in them at my start? Yes, I do. It'll make the start a lot faster because I won't have to mine all the coal for my starting miners by hand. It's always worth it to grab some of those huge rocks. We'll stick our starting miner down on the coal. I just said on the coal. This is not the coal, this is iron. Keep looking around. It does look like we started in a forest, which is going to be nice because that'll help eat some of the initial pollution we spit out without making our friends angry at us before we're ready to engage in diplomatic negotiations. So, wander back down this way a little bit and see what sorts of things we have off to our south. If I can not get stuck on these trees, that is. What things do we have off to the right? I see some more biters. They're just hanging out over there. Good to know that they are there, though. Where was our coal? Oh, here it was. Has this grass over it, so I didn't really notice it was there. Clean up some of our wrecked ship debris. I am going to keep the large crashed ship because I think it looks cool. It also helps keep track of where our start was. Because when we get eaten by biters, that's where we're going to respawn. These military researchers will help us clear out some of the locals with some friendly diplomacy. And the other thing I'm going to want to grab is some fish. Not just because I'm a cat boy. I definitely put 20 in there. But apparently the game has a rounding error on science, maybe? That's a little bit weird. Because it said 20. Maybe somebody can explain why it got stuck at 99%. But I'm not sure other than some sort of rounding error. I'm running out of iron. Story of Factorio. Is not enough iron. Ever. I almost grabbed all the belts out of that chest. That's not what I wanted to do. My brain goes on autopilot sometimes. I definitely want to make sure that I keep my fishing turrets with me when I go to negotiate with the biters. I do want to see what's up there. Walking straight into a cliff. Walking straight into a cliff does not work. I'm stuck on the trees. There's quite a lot of them down there. I don't like that many of them down there. That's going to be very, very hard to deal with later. Oh well. That is not my problem right this second. Alright, let's do this. cool. That worked. You can see what I mean about this taking a lot of ammo to do this. It does look like one of my turrets got blown up. There's definitely some biters up here. And they clearly need some diplomatic relations. That's generally a fairly effective strategy. I am stuck on these trees. I am so stuck on these trees. This is kind of annoying. That was a mistake to try to walk through there. This could go this next one could go very, very poorly because there's a lot of them. It looks like it spawned 3 next to each other. This is not working very well. I think it is time for a tactical retreat. Hey, stop eating my stuff. I'm going to leave those. This is definitely time for a tactical retreat. That did not go very well. But this will also help speed up the production of more biter negotiation tactics. Though I am eventually going to need to figure out how to, I don't know, fix my exploded ship here? But not rocket science. Or maybe it is rocket science, but it's not rocket science yet. What is... What's 200 divided by 5? Like 40? Or 40 iron each? I think that math is right, but I'm not a mathematician. I'm a cat boy on the internet. And apparently another set of nests up there. How big are they? They should also be pretty quick to deal with. Those guys will not be so quick to deal with. Come in, place down some turrets, clear out the guys that spawned at the start, place down some more turrets, place down even more turrets, and a few more turrets for good measure. And that one went way better. The ones up, the nests up here are definitely starting to get pretty large, though. Drop down some turrets there. Drop down line of turrets there. Works better if you're much faster with your fingers than I am. I'm very slow at clicking things. But it still works. You know, you'd think that I'm pretty good at, like, action RPG games. You'd think I'd be better at placing a couple of items in a 2D game that's not even designed to be, like, fast response times. You know, I have turrets. I have a bunch of ammo still. Let's continue our negotiations. That works. So every time I destroy some of these biters, all the remaining ones get just a little bit stronger from evolution. I don't think that's how evolution normally works, but this is Factorio. Things work in weird ways. I did not mean to make them notice me yet. I was trying to tactically sneak up from the bottom. That worked. It looks like that's the last nest in this general area. There might be some over there. And then there's all the ones up there that I don't want to deal with right now, but I probably should at some point. That is future me's problem. And future me's going to not like that that's future me's problem. I'll grab some more fish. I haven't used them yet. But they're going to come in helpful at some point, I'm sure. And or just launch a bunch of fish into space later. With, how many sentient catboy creatures are in space? Yeah, there's high demand for fish in space. Just realized I forgot to run a fuel line. You know what, sure. Some spaghetti's fine. Oh boy, is that some spaghetti. And actually get some research going. Otherwise, I think I'm going to be stuck on this rock for a long time. Because if there's one rule of Factorio, other than you need more iron and the factory needs to always be growing, that you never have enough green circuits. I need to know how to make walls if I want to make something that requires me to know how to make walls. I should not have routed it like that. I did not leave myself enough space to route the iron ore in. There we go. But once you have resources, it's pretty easy to wire everything up. That's at least some of my previous playtime showing through there. I still like how my ears wiggle every time I blink. You're gonna get a spaghetti factory anyways. Luckily, spaghetti tastes good. Spaghetti is very, very tasty. Also pretty easy to make, so I don't have to spend like all my time trying to figure out like, oh, I need to cook now. No, I can just play video games. Throw some stuff in, throw some water in the pot, throw some pasta in the pot. Go back to playing video games. That is a big biter nest. That is a really big biter nest. I hope. Yeah, let's not have them notice me yet. It is nice to know it's there, though. Always helpful to know where your neighbors are, so when you need to have a nice, friendly conversation with them, you can. You don't have to go looking for them. I don't think the biters have phone numbers I can call and ask them where they're at. It'll be a very unfortunate place to die. That did not work. That did not work at all. Let me not get too close to those guys down there. I don't want to make them angry. Because the resource patches get bigger as you go further out, but so do the biter patches. And the biters are not friendly. The resources I like. The biters not so much. I'm just trying to find anywhere with iron. With a second iron patch. Oh, is that one? Is that one? Oh, that might be one. That is. That's a lot of iron. Oh, that makes me happy. How much is it? Oh boy. 37 million iron. That is absolutely worth it. It's well guarded though. I'll say that much. Definitely well guarded. Let's not walk it straight through the biter nest. Because we're not into rocket science yet, but we do eventually get rocket science. It's not rocket science yet, but it will be. To just make my research a little bit less painfully slow. because it really does take forever if you don't have enough labs or science packs. I once did a 1000x science playthrough of this game, and it took close to 1,000 hours because I don't know how to build that at that large of a scale. But even if I don't know how to build at that large of a scale, I still finished it just by sheer stubbornness. There's one thing I'm definitely good at, it's being stubborn. Endlessly stubborn. Oh, I need to actually connect them to the correct inputs. That might be helpful. Since, you know, if things aren't connected to the correct inputs, it's not really gonna work very well. Plastics finished researching. I forget what those take to craft. Coal and petroleum, so the water we'll just need over here for our chemical science. Just pipe weaving and whatnot to get everything in there. Even if it doesn't look a little funny, like I do if I want to switch to electric furnaces, which are... They're quite a ways down the tech tree, I'm pretty sure, still. Yeah. Yeah, those are behind chem science. Granted, it is not the furthest thing down the tech tree now that I'm actually looking at it. That might not actually be a bad idea to handcraft some chemical science packs as I'm working on this. Actually, I'm gonna have to do that anyways, won't I? Because the tank, I'm pretty sure, is also locked behind some basic chem science. It's just a starter base still. But that's also the greatest lie of Factorio. Nothing's just a starter base. Everything's spaghettis. I'm gonna need some engine units. What do those take? I don't remember. A lot of iron, a lot of steel. A little steel, a lot of iron. Oh, and you can't handcraft them, that's why. I was like, why is it still red? So I'll run a belt for some plastic. Can I do that? Does that work? That feels so wrong. But it works, so I think I don't care. It'll work. It'll work itself out. I think I might want to use electric furnaces in my new factory. They are a lot faster. I think I'm automating everything that I said like a couple minutes ago I wasn't going to automate. I don't have any biters I'm immediately worried about right there, so I don't think I need to worry about clearing out some of the trees. So let's cause some mass ecological destruction. You know? I think that sounds fun. And grenades are one of the best ways to completely obliterate the entire forest. Can't miss the forest for the trees if you don't have any trees to be focused on. Oh, and I think I just blew myself up. Twice in a row. 3 times in a row. I should be a little bit more careful. Yeah, I should definitely be more careful, otherwise I'm gonna actually just kill my character here. And that would be funny, but that would be unfortunate because I don't want to have to run back down here. I just say I wanted to be more careful. So I didn't do literally that. And there we go. Back to using high explosives. This is not OSHA approved. Or, yeah. Doing this is definitely not OSHA approved in any way, shape, or form, and it's also probably not approved by the EPA. Luckily, I don't think they exist on this planet. I think they exist only on Earth. Because I'm not an expert in workplace safety regulations, but blowing yourself up seems like something they might be a little bit concerned about and have some rules in place to stop, or at least make a little bit less likely to happen. What am I running low on? Iron? Yeah, iron. There's 3 things that are inevitable in the world. Death, taxes, and your factory running out of iron. Yeah, 3 refiners that of just basic chem processing. I am running low on iron again. Did I forget to set something up? I just noticed that military 3 is not researching. I forgot to turn the yellow or the blue science on. If I move that over there, it will. This feels legal. I'm sure nothing could go wrong here. This is a perfectly well thought out plan. Perfectly well thought out plan. Nothing can go wrong. I say right before everything's gonna go wrong, because this game likes to do that to me. Boop. Iron production appears to have been fixed, and/or iron consumption is just down. What am I stuck on? I'm stuck on something. I'm stuck on something down there. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think I walked into the middle of all my power grid down there and it was just like, why can't I move anymore? Why do I still have solid fuel and stuff? I'm gonna stick these in my garbage chests over here and then be looking for them in like 8 hours. Have my repair packs been craftable the entire game and I was just completely blind? I think they've been there the whole time. I'm guessing they were there the whole time because I don't know what tech I would have researched that would have given that to me. So I think I just did a stupid. My pollution cloud's looking just fine still. I'm gonna craft a tank and a bunch of explosive shells for it. Means I'm gonna need I'm gonna need plastic, steel, and explosives. I already have plastic over by my chemical setup. I'm going to need steel and explosives, which means I'm going to need steel. I already have coal over there, and I have sulfur over there. I just noticed I'd never powered my inserter over here. But I also don't have the recipe in there yet. While I'm waiting, I might as well handcraft some empty barrels for some explosives. I'll do like 25-30, 35-40, 45-50. I can do math sometimes. But sometimes it's a little bit debatable if I can actually do math or if I just think I can do math, but I definitely want... I think I want all 3 modules at least tier 1. Because productivity modules will be good for the furnaces and some crafting machines. The speed module will be good for the pump jacks that power everything. And the efficiency modules will be good for when I'm setting up the mining outposts, so they attract a little bit of less attention from my friends. Since, yeah. My friends I don't think want to be friends, but they're going to be my friend anyways. Because everybody gets to be my friend, and it's not a question. Not optional. At all. And I have an amazing capacity to just limp my factory through these just limp things through these sorts of factory builder games. But I'm gonna want to delete these clips first. They very rudely decided to generate where I wanted to build something. 99%. We're almost there. We're almost there. There we go. That's the tank research finished. Solid fuel seems like a pretty good bet. I'm gonna grab a little bit of solid fuel out of this. Solid fuel out of that chest. I could not talk there. What are the odds I blow up my tank within the first 30 seconds? Probably pretty high. And I've got a bunch more explosive cannon shells crafting. I think I'm going to take out this nest first, just as a test run. So let me get clear of my factory before I put this tank down, otherwise I'm going to blow up everything by accident. Spider negotiation time. That worked. That worked really well. Be friends. Being friendly with your neighbors is never a bad thing. It's just sometimes your neighbors need you to be friendly with explosives directly to their face. Come here, biters. I'm not gonna bite much. Much. I definitely have a bite. This does seem to generally be working pretty well for me. My tank is starting to get a little bit low on health. So it may be time for a tactical retreat and repair the tank. Because that is always an option. Yeah, I like how the worms run out of health and then they shoot you one more time before they actually die. There's not one there anymore, and I forgot to stop my tank before I got out of it. Get in the tank, stop the tank, get out of the tank. Whoops. I'm a little bit less concerned about this one. So it is getting dark, and that makes it a little bit hard to see what I'm shooting. And then, yeah. Keep on moving. If you stop moving, you will definitely get just completely obliterated. I've got to make sure I don't accidentally destroy my tank. I think that gray bar is actually my health bar. I thought that was like a shield bar for some reason. I don't really get stuck on, you don't get stuck on the cliffs. that would be concerning. Oh god, can you imagine getting stuck on those cliffs while you're in the middle of a giant biter nest? That would I don't think that would go very well. But I will have to clear out some of the bigger biter nests, because when you have a full factory running at full force, you get a lot of pollution coming out of the thing. And biters are not huge fans of pollution generally. So we make them big fans of pollution. It's not an optional. I like how much damage just running straight into the worms does. Like, boom, boom, no more worm. Problem solved. I just gotta do a couple of laps. Gotta do a couple of laps so that I can make sure my tank doesn't get exploderated by all of these worms and biters and stuff. Because you can see how quickly that just chewed through a bunch of my health. I did quite a bit of damage to them also. This is gonna take this one takes a minute. Negotiations with the biters are going quite well. I think we can come to an amicable resolution to the pollution problem of I do whatever I want and the biters don't get to don't complain. Tactical retreat. I like my tank to be in one piece. Well, one-piece tanks are good. Two-piece tanks are not good because then they explode everywhere. Just see what sorts of biters I can... What with the next group of biters I can have some nice friendly negotiations with is... they can be negotiated with. That they have no say in anything, and I can do whatever I want with my factory, and they get to deal with it. Negotiating access to this coal patch. where I get access to the coal patch and the biters get evicted. Not by choice. That they could have moved. They did not have to stay next to the coal patch. But they did. So they get evicted. By force. With explosives. Repeatedly. I'm a reasonable person. I get what I want, and you don't get to complain. None of the fighters get to complain because, well, they don't have a tank, and I do. I get to do whatever I want with my factory. They get security from everything that's not the factory. But if they interfere with the factory will, produce a small number of high explosives. By the thousands. We'll come to a mutually beneficial agreement. See, it's a mutually beneficial agreement. I said so. That's the large nest that I accidentally made angry. I can just run away with guns. And, keep track of that one for later. I don't want my factory to get exploded. So I will try to keep my factory from getting too exploded by taking the explosions to them. Lots of explosions are involved in the factory, but they can... I like my type of controlled explosion better. And we shall see to it that we have all the land that the factory shall ever require negotiated from the local population. They could, like I said, they could have moved. Being reasonable. I just want their entire planet. And then eventually I'll leave this planet and go be reasonable and negotiate a bunch of space on another planet. I don't know. We shall see once I get off this planet. Because I can't fly my spaceship correctly sometimes. And sometimes my spaceship, winds up being slightly exploded. But we can definitely negotiate a ceasefire with the biters. In a couple of hours. After they've been removed from existing. Peacefully removed from this realm of existence. I'm just trying to negotiate some space to expand into.